Have you ever wondered why your team leaves strategic planning sessions excited, but 6 months later, nothing's actually changed? After 10 years of guiding growing businesses through their planning challenges, I've discovered that most leadership teams confuse motion with progress. They're busy planning, but they're not actually creating executable strategies. So in this video, I'm going to show you why your team gets excited in the room, but confused on Monday morning. The planning mistake that guarantees scattered execution, and the number one thing that turns great strategies into forgotten documents. Leadership teams spend hours getting excited about where they want to go. They use words like innovative, market leader, best in class, and customer focused. Everybody's nodding, energy's high, and people are inspired. Vision statements that sound amazing in the conference room, they don't tend to mean a whole lot on Monday morning. And when someone asks, what exactly should I do differently? It's kind of hard to answer sometimes. So why does this happen? Well, because vague feels safe. When you say we want to be the best, nobody can argue with that. When you say we want to grow, everyone agrees. But when you get specific about what best means or how exactly you'll grow, suddenly people have opinions and the conversation gets harder. Here's how to recognize when this is happening. Your planning sessions are full of inspiring language, but no one can explain what changes on Tuesday. You hear phrases like, we need to be more strategic, or focus on excellence, without anyone defining what that actually means. Or your team leaves excited, but can't answer the question, what are we doing differently now? What I'm talking about is what I call the vision trap. Planning in generalities instead of specifics. And remember this, what happens in vagueness stays in vagueness. And when teams plan in generalities and vagueness, they create what feels like alignment, but is actually confusion. Everyone thinks they're on the same page because they agreed to vague concepts, but they're all imagining completely different things. And the cost of this shows up 3 months later when nothing has changed because no one knew what to change. Your leadership team didn't fail to execute your plan. You failed to give them an executable plan. Growing companies translate vision into specific actions. Plateaued companies mistake inspiration for instruction. I've created a cheat sheet filled with practical tips to avoid these traps, and I'll tell you how to get it coming up. But even if you get specific about your vision, there's something else that guarantees your plans will fail. And it's probably happening in every planning session you've ever been in. This is where most leadership team planning sessions completely fall apart. Your leadership team gets energized about all the possibilities and starts generating ideas. The problem is they never stop generating them. And you can set your watch by how this unfolds every time. Leadership teams brainstorm all the ways they could achieve their vision. Marketing initiatives, operational improvements, new products, system upgrades, team expansions, you name it. The list keeps growing and everyone's contributing because creativity feels productive. By the end of the session, they've got 15 to 20 initiatives that they're going to tackle. And everyone leaves feeling accomplished because they've identified so many opportunities. But what they've actually done is guaranteed their own failure. Now, this happens because saying no to good ideas feels like giving up. Every initiative sounds logical. Every opportunity seems worth pursuing. And in a planning session, when you're not thinking about day-to-day execution challenges, everything seems possible. And you know this is happening when your planning documents look like shopping lists instead of strategies. When someone asks, what's our top priority? And the answer is, well, everything is important. Or when your leadership team leaves planning sessions with more on their plate instead of clearer focus, teams develop language to avoid making hard choices. Instead of saying, this is our number one priority, they say things like, this is a key focus area. Instead of killing initiatives, they put them in the parking lot for later. Instead of choosing, they try to do it all. What I'm talking about is what I call the everything trap. This is where you treat all good ideas as equally important priorities. When everything's a priority, nothing is a priority. So your leadership team becomes scattered across too many initiatives, and executing poorly on all of them instead of excellently on a few. They're busy but not effective, working hard but not making meaningful progress. The companies that break through this focus on 3 to 5 major initiatives at most. They kill good ideas to protect great ones. And the ones that stay stuck try to do everything and wonder why nothing works at the level they need. Successful leadership teams plan what to stop doing just as intentionally as they plan what to start doing. And struggling leadership teams only plan additions, never subtractions. Now, I've created a cheat sheet filled with practical tips to ask the right questions to avoid these problems, and I'll tell you how to get it coming up. Even if you get specific about your vision and focus on your priorities, there's one more thing that turns your great plans into forgotten documents, and most teams never even realize they're doing it. I've seen this exact scenario dozens and dozens of times. Planning sessions end with great energy and clear next steps. Someone takes notes, maybe even creates a nice document with all the decisions. The plan gets shared with the team, and everyone commits to the priorities. But then something happens. Or more accurately, nothing happens. The urgent day-to-day work takes over. The plan sits in a folder somewhere, and when someone brings up the strategic priorities in a meeting, people nod, they agree that they're important, but they keep doing exactly what they were doing before. Now, this happens because leadership teams confuse planning with managing. They think once they've made the plan, their job is done. But creating the plan's actually the easy part. Ensuring it drives daily decisions is where the real work begins. And you know this is happening when your strategic priorities are discussed in separate meetings from your operational decisions. And when people can recite your goals but can't explain how their daily work connects to them, or when your planning documents from last year look remarkably similar to your current problems. What I'm talking about is what I call the handoff trap, creating plans without creating accountability for executing them. Now, most leadership teams plan like they're writing a movie script. They create the story, but assume someone else will direct the actual production. They make decisions in planning sessions, but don't create systems to ensure those decisions drive daily behavior. Now, the cost is that your planning sessions become expensive exercises in wishful thinking. You spend time and energy creating strategies that never actually change how your business operates. Leadership teams that execute well don't just plan what to do, they plan how to ensure it gets done. They build accountability, measurement, and follow-through into the planning process itself. Leadership teams that struggle create beautiful plans that have no connection to daily reality. If you want to turn your next planning session into something that actually drives results instead of just generating excitement, I've created a practical cheat sheet that shows you exactly how to avoid these traps. It's called the Strategic Planning Session Cheat Sheet, and it gives you the specific questions to ask, the warning signs to watch for, and a simple process to ensure your plans actually get executed. You can download it for free at the link in the description below. Even when you know how to avoid these planning traps, there's still one problem that sabotages everything. And most leadership teams never realize it's happening until it's too late. So watch this video next, where I'll show you the warning signs to look out for when it comes to the alignment of your leadership team and what to do about it.